All right, guys, Scott and Zach here. We have some really cool information for you this week. Some charts that we came across to talk about appreciation across every state in the country, anywhere from 1 year, 5 years, the last 30 years. We're going to pull these up and just take a few minutes and talk through these. So, first off, here is appreciation across the United States in the last 12 months. On average, it's been 18.7% appreciation. Now look at these, top 10 states: Florida, Arizona, Utah, Tennessee, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, North Carolina, Hawaii, South Carolina. Pretty good spread, a lot of different places. Let's pull up the 5 year. Look at this one. Holy cow, Idaho, 121.6% in the last 5 years. The national average is 59.8, and Idaho just blew that out of the water. But look at Utah, even 99.6. Got a real strong showing here in the western area. Your top players: Idaho, Utah, Arizona, Washington, Nevada, Florida. Who doesn't want to live in Florida, right? The weather's perfect.
Yep.
Tennessee, Montana, North Carolina, and Maine. Good showing. Let's go to the 30-year chart. Look at this. Holy cow, over the last 30 years, on average in the United States, 275.1% appreciation. But look at Utah, leading the way with 599.2%. That's incredible. That means if you bought a house 30 years ago for $100,000, it's now worth $599,200. And that's true. I look at the house that I bought in 1994 for $75,000. That thing would easily sell for $450,000 right now. So it literally went up 600%. And look at your top players here: Utah, Colorado, DC, Montana, Oregon, Idaho, Washington, Arizona, Florida, Wyoming. A really strong showing here in the western states. So Zach, when you look at that chart, what do you think are the reasons why Utah experienced such high appreciation over the last 30 years?
Well, Utah has a really interesting dynamic here. As we look at the strong economy that Utah's experienced over the last 30 years, it's by far one of the best jobs market to be in. And we've just seen a lot of influx of tech jobs that have come into, Salt Lake County and Utah County. That's really just been a good pivotal, thing for Utah. Another thing we've seen too is just families here. So I think that a lot of students, come here, they go to BYU, they go to UVU or U of U, and they say, hey, look, this is a good place to start a family because we're next to family. And as well as we look at Utah's really pro-business and has political leaders that have kind of kept it that way. And the last thing too is, if I look at who we've been helping even over the last 4 to 5 years, a lot of it is, people from California or Oregon who are saying, hey, we want to get back to be close to family. And we also want to be in a state that's maybe a little bit more conservative than where they've been. And so I think that between those 4 different things, it really just makes the perfect storm for really good appreciation to be in the state of Utah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. There has been a strong influx of people coming into the state of Utah for a variety of different reasons. At the same time, now what we're starting to see, at least over the last year, a few people are starting to say, you know what, I can live anywhere I want now. Post-COVID, I don't have to be right in Utah or where my corporate headquarters is. And some folks are saying, I can find a house that's just as nice for half the price in Arkansas. We closed one yesterday in Oklahoma. We've got clients looking in Texas. So there is this moving around, this post-COVID shuffling that's happening. But a lot of those people are coming to Utah. With that in mind, one of the things that we've done it's worth noting is we've expanded our product offering into a lot of different states. Over 40 different states now we're able to lend in, so that we can help our clients regardless of which direction they decide to go. If they want to stay in Utah, fine. If they want to move to Oklahoma, fine. We can help them get that done. What do you see down the road, Zach? 1 to 5 years, where's the best place to be?
So as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking Utah and Colorado are for sure going to be top 5. I think Florida's also going to be in the top 5. we've seen a lot of just money kind of fluctuate into Florida from the East Coast, where people are saying, hey, I want the great weather, and we're just going to move down to Florida where there's a little bit more space than there is in, New York or DC, different things like that. And I think that Arizona will be a good one, as well as Idaho. So we've got a lot, just, kind of that belt of Idaho, Utah, and Arizona, and as well as Florida will probably be your top 5 over the next 5 years.
Yeah, I would agree. This is a really nice belt right through here. Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Arizona. Those are all really strong states that are likely to continue to experience good appreciation. Any final thoughts?
Well, it's great as we look at this too. As far as inflation has been in check over the past 30 years. So it's amazing to see that we've had this really great appreciation for Utah at 600%, and inflation's been at 2 or 3%. Now, right now, CPI, or one of the measures, Consumer Price Index, came out at 9.1. So I imagine that over the next 30 years, we're probably going to see a higher inflationary market than what we saw in the previous 30 years. Now, for me, that says I really want to be in real estate, because 600 might be a conservative number for Utah over the next 30 years, depending on what inflation is going to be looking like. So if we're looking at that house, that might be 600,000, times it by, let's just say, another 600, means that, those homes would be about 360 or 3.6 million, come 2052. So
Wow.
as I look at that, it's almost laughable, because we look at the first home you purchased for what, 75,000, something like that. And it would have been laughable to say, well, hey, did you overpay, Scott, if you bought it for 85,000 or even 90,000? You'd say, well, look, if we could go back in time, we all would have bought 5 or 10 of those. And I think that there's pretty good odds that we'll be saying the same thing 30 years from now.
It's a good point.
It's a good
point. We've all got to have a roof over our heads, so you might as well own your own home instead of rent. And then if you have the opportunity and you want to do it, even some type of real estate investment, historically, like we just saw, has paid off really good for those investors. So, all right, thanks everybody. Have a great month.